Hey, welcome back to the How to Podcast series. The episode 9, the 9th in our series of 10 episodes around leveraging your entrepreneurial spirit. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you came back. If you're returning, thanks for coming back. If you're new, well, you have 8 other episodes in this series to go back and listen to, all themed under leveraging our entrepreneurial spirit. You have one more after this. So just to catch you up, that's kind of what we're talking about as it relates to podcasting. See, we talk about more than just microphones on this show, which is like the most boring conversation to listen to. Which mic do you like? I like this one. Well, I like this one. Okay, whatever. A simple Google search, an AI search will answer that question. We don't do that here on the show. We focus on the best parts of podcasting, and it has nothing to do with what mic you buy. Come on. All this mic envy, everybody. This whole show me your mic, I'll show you mine. You show me yours, I'll show me. No. It's not what we do here. We're here to help you with your podcast and help you to grow your show and connect with your audience, build a lasting community around what you do. That's what we do here, and we do it well because why? Because you're here, first of all, and because we do it in community. It's not just a big Dave fest. We bring on an amazing guest co-host on this podcast to share their journey. We have our meetup group, which meets twice a week, where you can meet other podcasters completely for free with no sales funnel and no email newsletter to sign up to get it. No, we don't do any of that stuff. We just create podcasts about podcasting, and we do it to help you to be your best self as a podcaster. You found the right place. I'm glad you're here. Let's jump into our conversation today. We're going to be talking about being excited to learn and grow as a podcaster. This is a key component of being an entrepreneur, this whole thing about learning and growing. And we're going to tap into that today, and I'm glad you're here. Let's get into the conversation. Podcast creators and hosts who want to infuse their show with an entrepreneurial spirit should see themselves as both leaders and lifelong learners. I always believe the best teachers in life are the best students. They didn't learn something once and then teach it forever like so many podcast gurus do. They learn one way to podcast and everybody has to do it their way, and they're a one-trick pony. The pony only has one trick, everybody, and it gets a little boring after a few hundred episodes of hearing the same trick regurgitated over and over and over. And if you don't do it their way, you're doing it wrong. That's not how we do things here. I think the best teachers in life isn't somebody that learned something once and then just does it over and over again. I think it's the people that are learning while teaching, learning something new, staying on top of what's happening in podcasting, and growing in their knowledge of the medium and of the platform, while also sharing what they're learning in real time. That's what you should do as a podcaster. Again, lean learning, Pat Flynn, we talk about it often here, that you don't need to know everything about podcasting or writing a book or creating songs or being a painter. You don't need to know everything. You need to know enough to get started, and let's get going now, because you're always going to learn more by doing it. The joy is in the journey, and we really need to focus in on getting this podcast, book, speaking thing, whatever you're planning on doing. We need to get action steps in place and get beyond the learning cycle and focus on where we're going with this, right? It's a mindset. It's marked by curiosity, adaptability, and willingness to try new things. That's what makes an entrepreneur. It directly fuels your podcast growth, and it also helps to make your content more relevant for your audience. Some context for you as a podcaster around the idea of being excited to learn and grow as you continue to be a podcaster. Let's talk about this for a moment. Entrepreneurs are known for something. Running with scissors. Yeah, we do that often. But we're also known for always learning. We're never content with the amount of knowledge that we have or have access to. We're always learning the next thing. But there's a key component to this. We're not caught in a learning trap where all we are doing is learning. We have action and learning working at the same time. We're acting on what we learn, putting it into practice, failing, pivoting, changing, course correcting, and continuing to move forward and learning at the same time. There is a camp of people who want to be podcasters that all they do is learn, and they never act, and they never will, and they'll never have a podcast because they're just caught in this loop of, if I can learn enough, I'll be comfortable to start. And I have some bad news for you. If that's you, probably, most likely, I'm going to make up a percentage because, 73% of stats are fake. 80% of you will never start a show if you're caught in a learning trap. You just never will because you're so busy giving money to gurus, going to conferences, buying books, listening to podcasts about podcasting, like the How to Podcast series, and you never take the first step. Entrepreneurs, we're learning as well, but we're learning while acting at the same time. We consume new information constantly, and we treat each experience with another human, with another resource, another book, another podcast, another conference, another course. We treat it as a lesson. And as a podcaster, this means staying curious about your craft, being curious about your audience, and keeping in mind that technology is going to be changing. It'll continue to change, and you need to understand what's going on in your space. The moment you take your hands off the wheel, set cruise control on your learning, is when you run into damage and potential harm. You've lost control in that moment, and you're no longer driving. You're a passenger. So if you're not learning, you might not be the best teacher. Just putting that out there. Continuous learning sharpens your show. By actively absorbing from all these different insights, from mentors and books and podcasts about podcasting and other people in your space who talk about what you do, all the courses and conferences, these are the things that make your podcast better and help you in your journey. All valid, but not the most important thing. Podcasting and being out there in front of your audience, that's the most important thing. When you model this ambition and to be continuously learning, it gives your listeners permission to grow alongside of you and do whatever they want to grow into. If it's not a podcast, they might be listening to you because they want to write a book. And they see that you're doing it, you're consistent, and it gives them the power and the encouragement to be consistent for their project. It could be something directly related to what you're talking about, or next to it, something that goes along with what you talk about, just being inspiring by you showing up. What's some key takeaways for podcasters that we can apply today around this idea of being excited to learn and grow as a podcaster? You'll hear a lot of podcasts in the world talking about having a growth mindset. Okay, in general terms, you're in this area where you want to grow. Growth is front and center for you. It's a priority. You have a growth mindset. Share your own learning journey as a podcaster with your audience. Let them know that you're also on this journey of learning and what you're putting into practice as you go along your journey as a podcaster. Bring people along with you. They're curious about you and your mistakes and what you're learning and the lessons. They're watching you develop in real time as they follow your show. So when you're asking somebody to go click and follow the show, you want more than just one click button on their phone. You want them to actually follow your journey as well as a podcaster, and they're going to see you grow right in front of them. Again, that's very inspiring for somebody who's looking for somebody just like you doing something amazing that they can follow and build off of. It helps to build that trust and relationship between you and your audience. Emphasize having a growth mindset as a podcaster, and build a personal learning plan for your show. Have you ever set a goal for yourself? I want to learn about this part of podcasting, and I want to learn about it by this date. Do you have any learning goals around your show? I would pretty well guarantee, again, keeping in mind that 72.9% of stats are fake, that 38% of you have some sort of goal for your show, right? You've actually written them down. A very small amount of people actually have a goal in mind and monitored and measured for their podcast. So what are your goals? Maybe it's to be a better interviewer. Okay, well, how are you going to do that? Listen to more interviews, pick out what you like, what you don't like, take a course, work with somebody like Dave who can teach you how to be a better interviewer. What's the action part around becoming a better interviewer? And do that. What about telling better stories? Do you know how to tell a story? Do you have stories in your show, or is it just facts? What about the technical and the production side of podcasting? Do you have a sweet clue on how to edit a show? Have you ever edited your own show? Oh, I give that to somebody else to do. Would you like to know how to do what they do? It might help you to figure out if you're paying them too much or not enough. So maybe understanding the technical side of how to be on the microphone and how to be engaging and all of that. Maybe you need to learn that. Even with 100 episodes, you could always improve. So what is it that you have as a goal for your show? Have you set it? Are you measuring it? Is it front of mind for you as a podcaster? Document your goals for your show and invite the listeners to participate in the journey of you making your show better. Get feedback. You can also use your podcast to curate learning opportunities for your audience. Bring on guests who show adaptability, resilience, and unpack the lessons from people who write business books or mental health books or mentality or any of these things, growth. Bring them people into your show and talk about their entrepreneurial journey and how they got there, and bring out the key points of what they talk about in their book, for example, or from stage, and then use that as a learning opportunity for you and your audience at the same time. And consider short takeaway segments where you distill each episode's top insight, and it's more of a conversation between you and the listener than a shared conversation between you, the listener, and the guest. When you can step away from the interview and talk to your listener directly, there's a bridge being built there. That bridge doesn't have room for three people, you, the guest, and the listener all the time. So when you step away from that interview and talk to me directly as a listener, I eat it up. I love it because you're talking to me, and share your insights of the interview. A great way to do a little recap at the very end of the show and remind people that this is your podcast, even though there was a guest on the show and they did a lot of great stuff on the show. Bring it back to the sense that this is my show and I'm the host and you're part of my community. And remind people of that by doing a little recap at the end of your interviews. It works really well. I would really consider that as part of maybe something to add to the different segments you do on your show. That kind of touch point with your audience. Do that. Also celebrate any setbacks and anything that's going on in your show as learning opportunities that people can learn from. Entrepreneurs view failure as growth. It's a milestone. It's not a dead end to make a mistake. People who are in action make more mistakes than people who are in inaction. Inaction is safe, less mistakes, because you're not doing anything. You're just getting more information. The entrepreneurs that are out there acting in real time, making decisions, taking a path, taking a chance, failing, getting up, going in a new direction, they're the ones that are actually moving forward. You reading a book about podcasting is not moving forward. You're just your brain's getting fatter with all this knowledge, and you're not moving anywhere. There's no action. A muscle needs to be worked. You can't just keep feeding it and feeding it and feeding it and hoping for a better result. You got to take a step. So get out there and celebrate your learning opportunities in front of your audience. Reflect on your podcast episodes that didn't really resonate, or a launch for your show, or a theme, or a special thing that really fell on its face. Extract from that example and that opportunity and that lesson. Extract from it things that you can learn from it, put it into practice, and get up, keep going. Celebrate your setbacks in front of your audience and leverage other podcasts and experts. As a podcaster, Listening to this show is a good first step, and I thank you for being here, especially for taking action and being here. Fitting this into your daily and weekly schedule is great. I really appreciate it. Stay current by listening to top entrepreneurial and business mindset podcasts. This will help you to get into the mode of learning and adapting and growing. And if you're not in the habit of listening to podcasts and you're a podcaster, I think you're missing the boat here. People who love podcasting should listen to podcasts. It's kind of a thing. And if you're not listening and learning and growing, then you're listening to the wrong shows. It's fine to listen to a show to laugh and just take a break. Love it. Story podcasts, love it. Afterlife Fictions, great podcast. Go listen to it. It's amazing. Doing that for entertainment and for your own mental health, that's amazing. But I would put in your listening schedule something that makes you learn. An audiobook, a podcast, a course, something that makes you go, huh, I didn't know that. And then take that information and apply it to your show. What's some action steps that we can put into place around this whole idea of being excited to learn and grow as a podcaster? What's some action steps for podcast growth that we can put into place? Here's a few as we kind of wrap up this episode of leveraging your entrepreneurial spirit. Here's some thoughts. I want you to regularly ask your audience what they want to learn about. See, this isn't about you. It's not about the length of the show, about your content, about your guests, and do you like me? No. What do you want to learn about on my show? What is it that I'm not touching on that you just can't find an answer to? Then let's do that. If they're searching for something and they're not finding the answer, then be the answer. You do it. Don't wait for somebody else to create an episode about it. You do it. You're a real estate podcast and nobody's talking about this part of real estate. Then do it. Be the answer. Be the result that Google wants to serve up and AI wants to serve up. Is if you're looking for this, then go listen to this. Be the answer. Ask your audience, what are you looking for? And treat their responses as prompts for your own development. You might be blind to this. You might have no vision to the idea that people are looking for this around your topic, and their feedback can set you on a whole new path. Add it to your content calendar. Make it a priority. When your audience says, Dave, can you talk about this? Talk about it. It goes to the top of the list. Over all your favorite podcast episodes that you want to create, focus on it and develop that. And end each episode with a question or a challenge that encourages listeners to act on what they just heard on your show that reinforces a shared journey of growth between you and your listener. And I would also say, at times, review some of your older episodes. Go look at your show notes, look at your episode titles, look at the edits, look at the length of the episode, listen to your questions, listen to the answers. If you have you're hosting a guest, go through and do a little review of your old episodes. Note any places that you think you could improve on, and record follow-up episodes reflecting on your progress to model a lifetime of learning. Your audience is going to love this kind of review of your own work and your own sober approach to getting better. By embracing an entrepreneurial spirit marked by growth, focused on mindset, and building your podcast, it becomes something that you're excited about and that you love sharing your growth of learning and growing, and your audience is going to resonate with it. So what are you going to put into place this week? How are you going to show up as excited about learning and growing as a podcaster? It'll help you because as you step into an entrepreneurial spirit, whether it's naturally ingrained in you or it's something you have to develop like a muscle, as you develop this as a podcaster and embrace your excitement to go and learn and grow more, your audience is going to pick up on it. It's going to give you better results, and you're going to grow your show naturally because you're growing. A growing podcaster leads to a growing podcast. An inactive podcaster is not going to grow. Personally, and your show is not going to grow. So people aren't going to come to a dead show. They're going to come to a show that's lively, vibrant, healthy, and exciting. Because the podcaster is all those things. If you need help, I'd love to help you. Thanks for listening. Hey, thanks for being here. Thank you for listening to the end of the podcast. You're here with me. I'm so grateful. I want to put something in front of you. For the person that's listened this far, you're my new best friend. So what I'm trying to do every month is I have a goal, and you can help me with this goal. Very simple. What I'm trying to do is have 5 conversations this month with listeners of the How to Podcast series. You don't have to have a podcast to respond. This can be the first time ever that we're going to have a conversation, but I'm looking to talk to 5 people. Now, you're still here, so you're one of the people that I would love to talk to next. So on my howtopodcast.ca website is a calendar, and I'd love to have you respond on howtopodcast.ca. Just click the calendar link, set up time in my calendar, and in the comments section for the meeting, just put something like listener. That's it. If you have a show, put it in the comments too so I can go listen. But if you don't, I just want to talk to 5 listeners every month from now to the end of the month. So if you're listening to me right now, you're the person I want to talk to. And through howtopodcast.ca, you and I can get together, chat about the show, chat about your journey as a podcaster. Where are you at? What do you need the show to become for you? What's missing? Your feedback. I just want to meet you. And as podcasters, I would encourage you to do something similar to this in your podcast so that you can meet and interact with your audience. So, howtopodcast.ca, I'm looking to talk to 5 people every month, and I would love for you to be one of them. Reach out. It's free. I'm not selling you anything. I just want to talk to you at howtopodcast.ca. Let's get in the calendar and chat. Thanks for listening.